There's a big announcement. We have a lot of big announcements. There's sort of all big announcements, actually. It's wonderful to be in the Oval Office. I think you probably like it the best. You like it the best for press conferences? I sort of do. But today I'm excited to announce another historic achievement in our quest to lower drug prices for all Americans. Prices have come way down. We've gotten prices way down for groceries.
Let's be real.
Another one.
It's another one. He comes out with another way to lower drug prices. I mean, we're talking about most favored nations already, so let's see what else they've added on top. I mean, bro, they could take off the leasing on drug pricing. I mean, man, at that point, you got to give him his flowers.
For oil, especially today, we broke $60 a barrel. We think the oil is going to be under $2 a gallon very soon. That's about 70% lower than what it was just a year ago. So that's a big thing. And when the oil comes down, everything comes down. It's pretty beautiful to watch. AstraZeneca, the largest pharmaceutical manufacturer in the United Kingdom, is committing to offer Americans major discounts on their vast catalog of prescription drugs. One of the great companies, by the way.
Okay.
And a most favored nation's pricing clause. So most favored nation is you're going to pay whatever the lowest price anywhere in the world is. That's what you're going to be paying. And I had it going very well in my first term, but we were interrupted by a rigged election. So I was unable to carry it forward. We started it, but this was something one of the reasons I wanted to run again was we had to have favored nations where the world is not going to be paying just a tiny fraction of what we were paying. I want to thank CEO.
Oh, and shout out to Cache My Memory for the 2 jewels. Appreciate the support.
Pascal Sorio, a very highly respected, one of the most respected men in business and certainly in the industry, for joining us today, as well as Secretary Howard Lutnick, Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., CMS Administrator Mehmet Oz.
All right, so yes, Trump is, so what was it? It's AstraZeneca. So yeah, AstraZeneca, a British-based pharmaceutical company, agreed to lower the prices of some of its prescription drugs in the U.S., especially for Medicaid patients, in exchange for tariff relief from the Trump administration. So, all right, there you go.
FDA Commissioner Marty McCary and Virginia Governor, a man who's done an incredible job. And good luck with the upcoming election. I know you're working very hard. I watch you. You're right there. He's out there working. He wants to see that.
Oh, and I have to mention this other part as well. Also, as a part of this, the company also agreed to increase its manufacturing footprint in the U.S., investing in facilities and shifting production of some of its medicines from Europe to U.S. factories. So, like, this also is part of the bring manufacturing back to the U.S., especially pharmaceuticals, because it is a matter of national security.
Young woman went, and the Attorney General, who I endorsed, et cetera, Glenn Youngkin. Thank you very much, Glenn. Thank you for being here. For many years, Americans have paid the highest prices anywhere in the world for prescription drugs, by far, many times the amount that other countries are paying is ridiculous. Upon taking office, I signed an executive order to make sure that Americans pay no more for prescription medications than the lowest price for the same drug in other locations in developing nations. Today, AstraZeneca is committing to offer all of their prescription medications to Medicaid at most favored nations prices. In other words, the lowest price anywhere in the world, that's what we get.
Yeah, and it's not only British pharmaceutical companies, it's like, well, it's other ones as like Sweden pharmaceutical companies are also like talking about following the same, I would say, how would you say, the framework as the British pharmaceutical companies are following with the Trump administration.
A move that will save American taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars each year. And I tell the story, Glenn, that in my first term, I had the honor of being the first president in 28 years to lower drug prices during the course of the year. And we actually did. And I was so proud of myself. We called a news conference. I announced it. It was 1/8 of 1%. 1/8 of 1%. Now drug prices are going to be going down 100%, 400%, 600%, 1,000% in some cases. But for 1/8 of a cent, Bobby, think of that.
Oh God, let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video. Appreciate the support, by the way, but let's not forget to double tap that screen.
So proud because for 28 years nobody had done it, and now it's. I think back to that. I said I shouldn't have had that news conference, but it is true. I was the only one that did it, but it was not very much, and now we're going to get, in some cases, 1,000% reduction. This is going to have a huge impact on everything from Social Security to Medicare to Medicaid, anything where they're buying any prescription drugs. It's going to have an incredible impact. It's going to lower itself greatly. AstraZeneca will also list many of their most popular drugs online at trumprx.gov. TrumpRx. I don't know why they put the name Trump. I did not tell them to do it, but I'm honored to let them do it. That's true, actually. That heavily reduced most favored nations cost. Americans can expect discounts, and as I said, it could be in many cases way over 100%. And as an example, one particular drug that's hot, very hot, 654% on inhalers, COPD and asthma, as well as certain diabetics medications. They're going to be averaging about 654% reduction in price. You believe that one? The Democrats will say, well, he should have gotten more. It's crazy. In addition, all medications AstraZeneca introduces to the American market going forward will also be sold at these heavily discounted rates. Furthermore, AstraZeneca will invest $50 billion.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. The way Trump is doing these percentaging is a bit confusing. Like they're gonna go down by 1,000%. I'm like, I don't think we're not talking stocks here, but I do believe he's talking about, I don't know, they should probably see a 75% reduction, 50 to 75% reduction in drug pricing.
$1 billion in the United States over the next 5 years for research and development of new drugs and to onshore manufacturing facilities across the country, like the new plant that broke ground yesterday in Charlottesville, Virginia, where the governor attended. They had a tremendous group of people attending. It's going to have 3,600 jobs just to begin with. And that's going to be a fantastic plant. I saw a picture. It's going to be the best, right? You can't get any better. This is a tremendous victory for Virginia and for American patients and for everything, for the country. It's an amazing company to have coming over to the United States in such a big way. That's going to be a big part of the company. Presidents have promised for years to lower the cost of health care, but my administration is actually the first to do it and do it substantially, do it at numbers that nobody thought, even I thought were not possible. When you think of it, if you got a 1%, 2%, 5%, that's good. You did a good job. We're talking about 100, 200, 300, 500, 700. In some cases, some big numbers. And the largest drug companies in the world are working with us to make this a reality. And so I look forward to being at your opening of that incredible facility. I hear something, and it's in a great location, Len, one of the beautiful locations. Yep. So I'd now like to ask Secretary Kennedy to say a few.
Yeah, and like I said, this British pharmaceutical company is also trying to bring more manufacturing back to the United States. So not only are they lowering their drug prices, but they're also bringing jobs to the United States as well. So it's a great deal.
Words followed by Dr. Oz, Pascal, Governor Youngkin, and
well, it's a great deal. I mean, unless you just hate Trump outright. I mean, if you're against Trump bringing down prescription drug prices, then, I mean, you just will hate this man no matter what.
We'll take some questions afterwards. Would anybody like to have some questions? Yes? Oh, I'm shocked. Okay, we'll take them right after, okay? Bobby, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I talked about this a little yesterday in the cabinet meeting, but it's worth repeating because it shows this historical achievement as really monumental. When I was in my confirmation process, virtually every Democratic senator showed me their preoccupation with making sure that we completed, that I was going to continue to get a commitment from me to continue the IRA drug price negotiations. That the IRA required the Democrats, while President Biden was in, the first year of the IRA to negotiate 10 drug prices down. And then I was supposed to, my first year, negotiate 15 and 15 every year thereafter, and that was their plan. The Democrats claimed that they had a 22% reduction and that was a great success. And we actually looked at that when I came into the agency. We realized we were actually paying more for 8 of the 10 drugs. The 22% reduction was off of list price. And Medicare ended up paying more for 8 of the drugs, equal for the 9th, and about a 2% discount on the 10th drug. So that was the plan, and that's what they did. We are continuing the IRA negotiations, but thanks to the president's leadership, we have achieved something extraordinary here, which is a dream that he's had for 20 years because he's the common sense president. He saw something 20 years ago. He learned that we were paying 3, 4, 5, sometimes 10 times for the same drug as they were paying in European countries. Some of these drugs were manufactured in facilities in New Jersey and then sold for 1/10 the price in Great Britain, in London or Paris, that Americans were being charged for them here. He saw that this was unfair. Every Democratic president, every Republican president has said that this was the gold standard. This is what we needed to do. Nobody's been able to change it. And when we came in, I have to say I was pessimistic about doing MFN. Dr. Oz was pessimistic. Our staff, John Brook and Chris Klump and the other people we brought in were all pessimistic. The president saw something that we didn't see, which is we had leverage. And that came through Howard and the tariffs, and we had extraordinary leverage to craft these deals. So last week we had Pfizer in, which was one of the big.
And one of the things that honestly RFK just proved in the beginning of this little speech is that these pharmaceutical companies literally benefit off us having an over budgeted or an inflated amount of healthcare spending. Like, I'm be honest with you. He literally said, yes, these guys literally charge us more on Medicaid, and they do it purposefully because they know we spend recklessly on Medicaid. Like, a lot of these corporations take advantage of the fact that we have reckless spending when it comes to Medicaid. They love the fact that we're willing to spend $1.5 trillion in Medicaid spending. Why? Because they can charge us more. When we lower our budget, now they got to charge us less. It only makes sense. And they have no choice but to buy from us because they really, honestly, like every other company damn near in the world, we're their biggest buyer and we're the one who maintains their profit margins.
Biggest American pharmaceutical companies. Today, we have AstraZeneca in with Pascal Sorios, which is one of the biggest European pharmaceutical companies. And the president asked us to do 3 things. 1, to get MFN prices. 2, to not bankrupt these companies. He understood that America has to be the center for innovation.
Yeah, but this is where, like, the goal isn't to bankrupt these companies, but we do want to, lower our prices. And this is the problem with this whole most favored nation, because how these pharmaceuticals companies carry this out could be like, it could be very effed up, okay? Like I said, they could just raise everybody else's prices and just be like, look, man, we raised the price on the most favored nation, so now everything is fair. Or like I said, most likely they're going to find a medium where all countries can pay. But here's the problem, though. Finding that medium means that our price comes down regardless. Like, our price is already to the moon. We can only go down at this point. But that means a lot of other countries' prices are going to go up. And this is where it's going to kind of screw a lot of people over in a way. Well, not us, but some other country.
The drug industry needs to innovate, that it's critical for its bottom line. It's critical for the health of the American people. And he asked us also to make sure that those companies would keep their promise to reshore this industry. For national security purposes, for our economy, it's critical. These companies are making these drugs in the United States. We were able to achieve all those things, and partially with the visionary help of Pascal, of Pascal Sorios, who understood that innovation and the business doesn't work if everybody is not pulling the oars, if everybody doesn't have the skin in the game, the whole world was riding on our shoulders and riding on our dime. 70% of pharmaceutical revenues comes from this country. We only have 4.2% of the world's population.
I mean, no, that is a fact. 70% of these pharmaceutical companies' revenue come from us because we pay, well, I'm gonna be real with you, absorbent prices. We pay 10 times more than a lot of these other countries. So yes, 75% of their revenue falls on us. And here's the problem. That's why I said when most favored nation is going to work out to a median price, because they still have to find a way to keep their revenue the same. It just means that 75% of their revenue can no longer just come from directly from the US. They got to spread it out. That's why I said a median price is going to be met somewhere, because the cost will be spread out amongst other countries. And only our price can only go down, but other countries' prices, well, they can only go up.
And we were paying for 80 or 90% of the innovation here. And the rest of the world was a free rider. And Pascal understood that that's not fair, and it's not a good, sustainable, long-term business model. And he came to the table. He was one of the first leaders to come to the table. I want to thank him for his vision, for operating with us in good faith. And this is an extraordinary deal. Not only that, but as the president just pointed out, he is also reshoring this industry here.
I'm sorry.
He has 19.
Yo, and shout out Jeff for starting us off. He said, no, he said, did this mean there's an affordable TDS vax now? I mean, you know what, bro? I don't think there's nothing for that. I mean, they're just doomed. They're done for, God, man. It's over for them.
Facilities already operating in this country. He has this other facility in Albemarle County that Dr. Oz went with Governor Youngkin and broke ground on yesterday. He has a second facility that is under construction in Kendall Square in Boston, another facility in Rockville, Maryland, and a fourth facility in Copper, Texas, right outside of Dallas-Fort Worth. And he's got plans for building many more in this country, thanks to the president's leadership, to the tariffs, and to the common sense the president has demonstrated in his own commitment to make drug prices lower for hardworking Americans. So I want to thank the president for your visionary leadership. I want to thank Dr. Oz for his part, and Marty McCary in negotiating this deal. Dr. Heidi Overton, Theo Merkel, Chris Klump, and John Brooks, who all played critical parts in the negotiation. And of course, Howard Letnick, who was the key to these negotiations. Who do we bring up now? Dr. Oz.
Thanks, Secretary.
All right, Dr. Oz. He was cooking in the beginning.
I get to introduce Pascal, which I'll do with great joy and honor. So the world is watching as President Trump tries to make peace in every place he can go. But at the same time, President Trump is putting peace into the hearts of Americans and bringing peace of mind to them, especially Americans who cannot afford their medications. And just to put a number on this, as he releases us from the bondage of paying 3 times more for the exact same product made in the same factory, in the same pill box, in the same instruction manual overseas, rather in this country than we pay overseas, it creates an opportunity for us because, Mr. President, you're turning the art of the deal into the art of the heel. And that is something that you're going to witness today. And it's the second, we have more coming, but this is a very important one because I want to set the stage here. And Ms. Secretary, you're too modest. Secretary Kennedy did have a vision to push hard on this. He understood we could give the right medications to the right people at the right time. And there is nothing more maha than giving folks life-saving medications in a timely fashion so you prevent illnesses and treat other ones that have already occurred. You save lives that way. That literally is what was on the line as we began negotiating these. So let's set the stage. Where are we right now? Why this order? Last week in this very room, President Trump welcomed the CEO of Pfizer, and that company, a leading U.S. pharmaceutical company, pledged to provide exactly what the president promised. Massive discounts to allow us to have most favored nation drug pricing in this country so we don't allow our people to pay more than folks overseas. And this was unthinkable even 6 months ago, 7 months ago, when we came into office. And Americans now have the ability to do that, but we needed to prove it was scalable. So we went to AstraZeneca, which is the leading pharmaceutical company, a leading company in the entire world, but a massive opportunity in this march to MFN, a march to most favored nation drug pricing. And to have this message land clearly, we needed to make sure that the president's demand for fair drug pricing was heard all around the globe. And I actually think the single most powerful tool we had was the president, because people take him seriously. And some of the things that they were hearing overseas were alarming them enough that they began to realize the jig was up. So let's talk about the deal specifically. What are John Brooks, if you give me my Vanna White, please. John back there's Theo, Vince, Heidi were parts of the team. There are other members of the team I'll speak of in a second. So these are the 5 deal points. This is what Trump RX, by the way, which just launched, TrumpRx.gov, which was a unanimous name, by the way, Mr. President. He was not involved in picking the name, but it was not a difficult one to land on. We thought it had a catchy element to it. All primary care medications sold by AstraZeneca are going to be available on Trump RX, which means no more gaming, no more middlemen. Starting early next year, when you go to the website, you'll be able to see a marketplace. We're not selling the drugs. We're just making information available to everyone, so you go to the right place to buy the right medication. Second, drugs for lung diseases are discounted massively, and that's over here on this line. The president highlighted 650%. They're significant discounts, and these are medications. We just picked the ones for lung disease and one for metabolic syndrome.
Okay, hold on. No, how much did some of these cost us? Because, I mean, 600%. I mean, bro, it's either it's free or that thing is a penny at this point.
Diabetes, but there are others that are included. We have most favored nation pricing for everyone who is on Medicaid in this country. That's why Governor Youngkin is able to do backflips with his nimble 6'6" physique. Because for governors, this is a massive problem. If Medicaid prices continue going up, it crowds out other social services, which he'll speak to. We also have MFN for all new prescription drugs. Mr. President, by the time this term is done, 95% of all drugs sold in America, branded drugs and generic, will be available at a most favored nation drug pricing. Americans are going to benefit if the prices drop abroad. So Secretary Lutnick is going to make sure that if we get better prices for these companies from our partner countries overseas, the American people see those benefits, and there's going to be onshoring of manufacturing. And as has been mentioned, I stood with Governor Youngkin and Pascal Soriot as we broke ground yesterday in Charlottesville, Virginia, a massive $4 billion facility. That's the hard hat, Mr. President. I know you like construction, so that was all I could bring back. But there was a lot of remarkable energy. And here's what that event really does. It sends a signal. It sends a signal for all countries around the world to stop freeloading off American innovation. It's done. It's not going to happen anymore with this president. And if you aren't picking up your end of the bargain, then you're going to be welcoming a lot of more companies to leave your shores and allow us to welcome them into our shores as they open up manufacturing facilities here. And for all the pharmaceutical companies out there, and we're talking to all of you, pick up a shovel. This is a great place to build a facility, as AstraZeneca has shown us. And I think it has a wonderful opportunity in the future as well, as this country continues to support the innovation Secretary Kennedy spoke about, because we're not compromising that at all. We're just getting fair prices for the American people. To the team. Tough negotiations, Mr. President. You know how hard they can be. You can't get there without world-class negotiators, and we are blessed by individuals to work with the AstraZeneca team who are killers, head-to-head. And why? Because talented people out of the private sector are coming into government to serve this president in a generational opportunity that they feel in their heart will make a difference. John Brooks is part of that team. Chris Klump, Inma Hernandez, numerous other folks contributed as well. But we're open for business. And if you want a great position and a patriot, like the folks who negotiated these deals, please consider coming with us.
I mean, you got to respect the logic. I mean, you need corporate gangsters to go up against, well, other corporate gangsters. And they they understand each other's language. They understand the charts, the numbers, and all that good stuff. And you also understand leverage. So apparently, when you have about 75% of their profit margin in your hands, you got a lot of leverage on these pharmaceutical companies, and they put themselves here. For what reason? I mean, who knows? I mean, it could be because of our government not really speaking out for the American people in terms of pricing, or they just planned this all from the get-go.
Because the president has made it clear that you will make a difference in government. Finally, I want to thank Pascal Soriot, Pascal's an interesting, almost enigmatic individual. He's a CEO of AstraZeneca. He is born in France, Australian citizen, knighted in Great Britain, running their largest pharmaceutical company. So you figure out the lineage. But one thing I know is a very, very smart man who came here early on, took the president seriously, and he recognized the inherent unfairness of the European model of global freeloading off our innovation. He appreciated the challenge, and he wanted to be part of the solution. So Pascal, take it away.
Thank you so much. So, President Trump, it is really a pleasure to see you again since I had a chance to meet you last time you visited the UK for your state visit. I know the King actually kept you late during the night, during your visit, late up at night. And I must thank you actually for returning the favor. I can tell you, you've kept me up at night and my team as well. But it has been really worth it. It's been worth it because today I'm really excited to announce AstraZeneca's commitment to your vision for a healthy America. Great leadership is about having an ambition.
Oh, guys, let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. We got about 600 y'all in here. Do me a favor and double tap that screen. Appreciate the support, guys. Let's keep it going.
Vision that can energize people, and you appoint a very talented team that can deliver on this. Your vision is exactly that. It is about lowering the price of medicines for American patients while ensuring that America remains a global powerhouse of innovation in biopharmaceuticals. And that's not easy to do. We need to keep inventing the technologies and the products that will cure disease. But you actually gave us a key, equalization. That's an important word. Yeah. You've assembled a remarkable team, actually, that together with us found a way to deliver on your vision. I would like to thank you, Mr. President, for your collaborative and your trusting approach throughout the discussion that led to this agreement. In addition, I would like to thank Secretary Lutnick, I'd like to thank Secretary Kennedy, Dr. Oz, and the CMS team, in particular John Brooks, who is here today, but also Chris Klump, for their very straightforward approach and their collaborative work that together with my great team at AstraZeneca, enabled us to deliver this agreement today. It is an agreement that allows a number of wins. First of all, a great win for American patients. This agreement will deliver improved access to our medicines at a lower cost. We've addressed the 4 points that you raised in your letter, ensuring...
And guys, you can honestly thank tariffs for this deal because it's only because Trump imposed, what was it, 100% tariff on branded and patented pharmaceuticals imported from overseas foreign companies unless they make certain commitments. This is the only reason why these guys are coming to the table, because of that 100% tariff. And like I said, we're 75% of their profit. So yeah, they kind of got to come to the table. They have no choice. Just like this man said, they were losing sleep over during negotiations.
Americans do not pay more than patients in other wealthy countries. So it's a big win for patients and the healthcare system as a whole. But it's also a big win for the economy and for taxpayers, because it supports rebalancing the cost of innovation across wealthy nations. For too long, America has shouldered a disproportionate portion of the world's R&D cost for breakthrough medicines development. That imbalance is not sustainable. It had to change. And equalization levels the playing field, with wealthy nations contributing their fair share to the cost and the risk associated with biopharmaceuticals R&D. And I would say it's also a big win for state budgets because these Medicaid price reductions will have an immediate impact on Medicaid budgets and provide substantial relief to state budgets. Finally, your vision also secures America's strong position in life sciences and the onshoring of critical innovations and manufacturing. As a company, we will invest $50 million in manufacturing and in R&D. We already have a large presence in the United States. We have 19 sites, and we employ 25,000 people around the country. They're all developing the new generation of medicines. But we'll continue to increase our presence in this country. We're expanding our manufacturing footprint in Texas. We're building our second large R&D center in Kendall Square in Boston. We are building a cell therapy manufacturing plant in Rockville, Maryland, and there's more to come. So a lot of investment over the next few years. I want to say that I appreciate very much.
Remember, and thing is, they have 3 years to do this, or the tariffs will be enacted on them. So this is why they're kind of doing this with haste. This is why a lot of these pharmaceutical companies is already breaking ground already, because they're trying to come here with haste to the U.S. to avoid that 100% tariff. I mean, hey, shout out to the power of a terrorist when it comes down to negotiating. And I mean, it kind of dispels the whole myth of, oh, the consumer pays the tariff. It's just a tax on the people. I mean, then why are these companies capitulating over tariffs?
Secretary Letney.
Well, then you could also say they capitulated due to the fact that, 75% of their profits come from the U.S. You can have that argument as well.
Granting us a 3-year tariff exemption to localize the remainder of our products. Most of our products are locally manufactured, but we need to transfer the remaining part to this country. And also for your great support to convince also other wealthy countries to share the cost of pharmaceutical innovation. It is an important part of this agreement, rebalancing and the cost around the world. Yesterday, showcased our commitment to the United States with this $4.5 billion investment in the beautiful Commonwealth of Virginia to manufacture what we call API, active ingredients for our medicines, but also antibody-drug conjugates that are such a critical part of the future treatment of cancer care, what is called smart chemotherapy, targeted chemotherapy. I want to thank Dr. Oz for joining us for the groundbreaking ceremony near Charlottesville, together with Governor Youngkin. And I actually love your AstraZeneca hat. I know you wanted to bring a shovel, but didn't make it to this beautiful room. I have to say, it has been a great pleasure to work with Governor Youngkin and his team, in particular Secretary Segura, on this investment. Like you, President Trump, they are deal makers that move at the speed of business. And it's very important for us company to be able to work with people who understand who we are and move very fast. Our new facility will be a great example of Virginia supporting domestic production of medicines for America, enhancing national security in pharmaceutical supply, but also creates thousands of highly skilled jobs. Governor Youngkin gave me a beautiful Virginia flag that we will proudly fly alongside the American flag in front of our new facility. So AstraZeneca's commitment to the United States is very strong, and this agreement ensures we'll make an even bigger difference for American patients. So, Mr. President, thank you again for welcoming me in this beautiful office and for making this moment possible. Thank you so much.
Pascal. Thank you very much.
All right.
Over to you, Glenn.
I mean, Trump is effectively bringing down pharmaceutical prices. He's getting pharmaceutical companies to bring manufacturing back over here. And these are pharmaceutical company CEOs and all that good stuff that have just spoken before you guys and said, yeah, these are the commitments. Trump making us drop our prices for American citizens, and we're going to go ahead and spread it out amongst the world. I mean, I don't understand how you guys can be mad at that, but okay.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank everyone for celebrating this landmark moment. This landmark moment is not just a moment to announce a new way to buy less expensive life-saving medicine, but it is a step function change in the way that Virginians and Americans can access medicines. And it is a step function change because historically there was an opaque pricing mechanism that had so many people standing between the manufacturers and the patients that no one knew really what it cost. Well, now we can go direct to consumers. And that's what Trump RX is all about, going direct to consumers, where a consumer can come and find that particular medication that they need and go direct to the company and get the best possible price. Second of all, the most favored nation clause is a groundbreaking moment. It's a groundbreaking moment because, as you've heard, that American customers have been paying 3, 4, 5 times what international customers have been paying. That is just not fair. And Mr. President, I want to thank you for simply recognizing that America must come first, and Americans deserve the best pricing, not the worst. It changes everything for a state. In Virginia, we have $1.5 billion a year of pharmaceutical expenditure under our Medicaid plan, $1.5 billion a year. We save 10%, 20%, 30%. All of a sudden, 150, 300 million, 450 million in savings can be realized by a state. Now, I firmly believe that's the people's money and it should go back in tax relief. But think about the change that that enables for a state as they manage their healthcare expenditures. Finally, Mr. President, you have driven a reshoring of critical supply chain.
Like, damn, are y'all really upset about this? Like, this man is literally lowering healthcare costs. I'm a bit confused at y'all outrage. Can the one time, even if it's on the backhand note of just saying, you know, even if I don't believe in Trump, this is a good thing if he's really doing this. Can y'all at least say that? Do I at least got to put a poll on, do you like the fact that Trump is lowering drug prices? Because if y'all vote no, do you understand how ridiculous you sound and how crazy now y'all sound on having the argument of, oh, Republicans are threatening healthcare? Like, bro, you guys are mad that this man is lowering drug prices. You're literally trying to create an argument to make it a bad thing. You're literally doing the mental gymnastics necessary to make it a bad thing. And it is hilarious to see. So keep it up.
Change that no one thought could happen. The industries that everyone thought were lost are now coming home, and with pharmaceutical manufacturing and active pharmaceutical ingredients particularly coming back to America, it changes everything. It's an economic moment for us. Yes, $4.5 billion into the Virginia economy, and that will in fact translate into $3 or $4 of extra economic impact for every dollar that is spent, 3,600 great paying jobs. But it's even more than that. This is a national security moment. And what you've just heard is one of the leading pharmaceutical companies in the world is choosing America, and yes, Virginia, to invest nearly.
Hey, and shout out to Asher Rose. She says, "Say, get your umbrella." Man, get your umbrella. TDS tears are raining down in the chat. Got a flood coming. I'm gonna be honest with you, sis. I see it. These guys are literally trying to make this a bad thing, and I'm just looking at them crazy. Like, honestly, I'm gonna have to give y'all this one right here.
That shit is hard. Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
He's bringing down drug prices. Y'all just can't give it to him for the one time.
$5 billion to build the most critical manufacturing for the future of America's health. That's not just a single example. It's happening all over. And in fact, in Virginia, Mr. President, we've been blessed with nearly $10 billion of commitments to build new pharmaceutical manufacturing in the great Commonwealth of Virginia. And therefore, I believe this is a moment to celebrate investment, but more importantly, to celebrate breakthroughs for American citizens to get access to life-saving medicines at costs that they deserve, because they're all made here. Mr. President, you and your cabinet have been amazing. As a governor, I have found that the cooperation with every one of your cabinet members, and sir, yes, you, has been beyond compare that I could ever imagine. I want to thank you for helping us make Virginia great again, too. Thank you.
So we have, at this moment, I think we just cracked $18 trillion in commitments and investments in our country. As an example, the last administration was far less than $1 trillion for 4 years. We're at plus $18 trillion for 8 months. There's never been anything like it in history, in any country, anywhere in the world. So that's great. But maybe for purposes of this, more importantly, we're going to bring drug prices down at numbers that nobody ever thought possible, Glenn. I think nobody ever even thought it was possible. So we're going to be doing a lot of business, but we're going to be also numbers that when you're 2, 3, 4, 500% less. I just noticed one of them over here, 654% discount. 654.
Oh, and shout out to my man Jet. He says, get your bundle deal of umbrellas and buckets here for your TDS tiers. I mean, get them here. So, hey, shout out. Hey, shout out Jet. Hey, guys, and let's not forget, come on now, we're all American here. We should all be happy about this, even if it's Trump doing it. Like, Come on now. I mean, you guys are the same ones that are also mad about the Gaza plan. I thought that's what you guys wanted, was peace in the Middle East and destruction to stop happening in Gaza. Like, now you guys are upset. And now you're trying to poke holes and be negative Nancy's. Like, come on now.
The laggard is 98%, right? Nine is at what? Wow, 96, 230%, but 654. And we have some that top that by a lot. So it's really going to be incredible. And that's going to be so good for Medicaid and Medicare and everything, frankly. For your life, it's going to be so good. So nobody ever thought they were going to see. And don't let Democrats take the credit, because, you know, they'll try. They'll say, oh, we worked so hard. And they didn't work hard. They did. They obstructed. They actually did the opposite. So that's really more important than even the tremendous investments being made in our country. But think of it, we cracked 18 trillion with a T, $trillion. And frankly, 1 trillion for 4 years wasn't that bad. He did less than $1 trillion, but we did that in a period of 8 months. So that's pretty record shattering by many trillions of dollars. Any country, no matter what country you're talking about, nobody's done numbers like that. So thank you all for being here. Do you want to have a couple of questions? Yeah, please.
Mr. President, one on this, if I could, and one on China, if I may. First on this, could you have brought these pharmaceutical companies to the table without that 100% tariff that you imposed?
No, it's not 100%. You're talking about China might be 100%.
No, I'm talking about the 100% you imposed on pharmaceuticals for that sector.
I would never have been able to bring them. Now, I'm not sure that Pascal would like to say, but behind the scenes he did say tariffs were a big reason he came here, and also the fact he loved Virginia. He liked this guy. He liked me. I think the November 5th election was a very important date. We had a good election, and that was important. But yeah, he's here. A lot of. I
mean, let's be real. It is like, I mean, corporate propaganda is to sit there and say that tariffs are just directly passed on to the consumer. They are literally holding the corporate elite's water every time the liberal media passes on that message. Because one, it's not true, and it really is a mischaracterization of how tariffs honestly work, and how they're even, and how it could be distributed from, honestly, it could be broken up from the seller to the importer. And sometimes even the government will step in and take the cost, take the brunt of it. And then, God forbid, is a sector specific one, then these companies might have to take the brunt of it, depending on how much they need that economy. Depending. And let's be real. I mean, almost every company in the world needs the American economy. And that's their fault, not ours. I mean, look, they went ahead and enslaved themselves to our consumer economy, okay? We didn't do nothing to them. They did it to themselves. So shout out Tove. Appreciate the support, sis. And, you know, happy that you're back. She said they are mad because they have to find something new to fight and virtue signal for. I mean, ain't that the truth? I mean, they lost the healthcare battle. I mean, they definitely lost it with Hakeem Jeffries. They were talking about Obamacare subsidies. The Republicans said, okay, cool, we'll extend them. And now they're going like, no, we do not know. We don't, not only do we don't want the extension no more. We want it to be permanent. And I'm just like, bro, like, now y'all are literally arguing in bad faith. You told the world that we need an extension on the Obamacare subsidies. The Republicans agreed. They gave you that 1 year extension. And now y'all talking about we want it permanent. Yes, this is why I say that the Dems are the ones that is closing down the government. They're the demanding party.
Speak for almost everybody that's here. Most of them are here because of tariffs. Because you have to understand, he has no tariffs. If you build in this country, there are no tariffs. So,
I'm going to ask you about China, if I could. Just want to confirm, have you canceled your meeting with President Xi? And
no, I haven't canceled, but I don't know that we're going to have it. But I'm going to be there regardless, so I would assume we might have it. But, you know, they hit the world with something that really is not anything that people are going to do. And it's it was shocking, I can tell you, Howard and I. And
here's the thing, though. I mean, like I said, people are not even going off of logic, still saying that tariffs just get directly passed on to the consumer. And I would ask you, so you're saying the entire percentage of the tariff gets passed on? So what, a small percentage? If it's 10%, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%? They don't know. They can't even tell you because they don't really know how a tariff works. But it is what it is. And to be honest, like the way they're saying how tariffs work, that it goes directly to the consumer, hasn't been matching up with reality. So if there's been a 10% tariff across the board, then you would expect the consumer price index to go up by 10% because the entire 10% is being passed on to the consumer by your logic, by the Dems' logic, right? But that's not the case. If you look at the consumer price index, the highest has went up is like 0.6%. So if you're telling me that we're eating about 0.3% of all tariffs, then are y'all really making a sound argument? Like, let's be honest. And then wouldn't that prove that the tariff is being equally distributed, that companies are eating the tariffs, even if they're not eating the full tariff, they are eating a majority of it.
Todd,
and then you can leave the seller to take on the rest of it. So there you go.
Scott, we were all speaking about it before, and we said, where did that come from? It was just, that was out of the blue, right? Out of the blue, they came up with this whole import-export concept, and nobody knew anything about it. So.
If they roll back their export controls, the new announcement, would you roll back?
Look, we're going to have to see what happens. That's why I made it November 1st. We'll see what happens, yeah.
Mr. President, Mr. President,
Go ahead, please.
what else besides software could be on the table in terms of export controls?
A lot more. I mean, you have a lot more. We have airplanes. We have airplane parts. You remember that from last time. And we were just surprised that China. I have a very good relationship with President Xi, and they did that. This is not something that I, instigated. This was just a response to something that they did. And they didn't really aim it at us. They aimed it at the whole world. The whole world is subject to it. So I thought it was very, very bad. But we have many things, including a big thing is airplanes. They have a lot of Boeing planes, and they need parts and lots of things like that, Steve.
No, we're going to go ahead and explain what's going on with China, because they are doing I wouldn't say it's a self-destructive tactic, but it could turn into a self-destructive tactic if things don't go their way. And I mean, look, by limiting their own exports, limiting their own exports and imports, they could low-key are shooting themselves in the foot.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to accept the Gaza deal, and what will be your message to the Knesset when you speak to them?
Well, he wanted it. It's been a long time. He's been fighting a long time. He's been fighting hard. He wanted it. It's a great deal for Israel, but it's a great deal for everybody, for Arabs, for Muslims, for everybody, for the world. And as you know, on Monday, the hostages come back. They're getting them now. I mean, they're getting them now. They're in some pretty rough places under earth. They're in some pretty rough places.
And shout out to my man Jay. He's like, does Dem's brain run on an old 90s floppy disk? Like, what the fuck? I'm telling you, I just don't get it sometimes. Come on, you guys still want to stick to that old tariff argument when it's obviously been proven wrong, like completely wrong. And then here's the thing, the economy was supposed to sink by the 4th of July. And now y'all moved the goalpost to what? Next year? No, next month. Come on now, what's the target now? Y'all don't got one. Y'all just got the same old argument that you can't explain yourself.
Only a few people know where they are, in some cases. So they're getting them, and they're also getting the bodies, approximately 28 bodies. And some of those bodies are being unearthed right now as we speak. I mean, they're working on it right now as we speak. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. No, he was very happy with it. And I can tell you that I saw Israel dancing in the streets, but they were dancing in Qatar and Saudi Arabia and UAE and many, many countries. I saw Egypt. They were dancing. I'll be going to Israel. I'll be speaking at the Knesset, I think, early on. And then I'm also going to Egypt. They were terrific. But all of the countries were great. Indonesia was great. Jordan was great. They were all great. Everybody wants this deal to happen.
What happens in Gaza the day after the hostage release?
Day after what?
Everybody except Israel. I mean, let's be quite honest. I mean, everybody wants the deal to happen but Israel. And I'm not talking about the people of Israel. I'm talking about Bibi and his entire cabinet. The Likud party does not want this deal to happen. And that's the part that's in power, sadly.
The day after the hostage release, what happens there then?
Well, hopefully you're going to have great success I call it everlasting success. I think you will too. I think you're going to have tremendous success, and Gaza is going to be rebuilt. And you have some very wealthy countries, as you know, over there, and it would take a small fraction of their wealth to do that. But and I think they want to do it. And we're also setting up, as you know, a board of peace. It's called the Board of Peace.